Good afternoon and welcome to Salad Expo 3. Episode 3 is figures. We're going to get started right now with the barbershop chorus. Here we go.
We're singing hi neighbor, what do you know and what do you say? Hi neighbor, throw all your worries away. We're here to entertain you in that barbershop style. So throw your cares and troubles aside for a while. We're singing hi neighbor, my neighbor. Now's the time to say hi. Now's the time to say hi.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the Salad Expo, Episode 3, Figures, here at Ad Astra Books and Coffee House in Salina, Kansas. Brought to you by our unofficially official sponsor, Cricket Brand Coffee. I'm your host, Philip Dewar, erstwhile Esquire, erstwhile gavel percussionist, whatever. Part 1 of our breakdown of the term figures is aesthetics, a time for us to reflect on visual form. We begin our program with a piece comparing one's love to the displays of the most up-to-date fashions.
Sweet, sweet roses of gold. You're the ideal of my dreams. My heart's all in a whirl. I could love you forever, it seems, like a fashion play on Broadway. You came out with the sun's first gleam. Sweet, sweet roses of morn. You're the ideal of my dreams, like a fashion play on Broadway. You came out with the sun's first gleam. Sweet, sweet roses on morn. You're the ideal of my dreams. The ideal of my dreams.
For the following piece, we take the audience back to the 19th century, if you please. Put yourself into a time when books were not or barely illustrated. It was incumbent upon the reader to use their imagination and incumbent upon the writer to maximize the use of their power of description. To this end, we invite you to close your eyes and see if you can picture the Cathedral of Notre Dame from nothing but Victor Hugo's description.
The Church of Notre Dame de Paris is still no doubt a majestic and sublime edifice, but beautiful as it has been preserved and growing old, it is difficult not to sigh, not to wax indignant before the numberless degradations and mutilations which time and men have both caused the venerable monument to suffer, without respect for Charlemagne, who laid the first stone, or for Philip Augustus, who laid the last.
There certainly are few finer architectural pages than this facade, where successfully and at once the three portals hollowed out in an arch, the broidered and dentated cordon of 28 royal niches, the immense central rose window flanked by its two lateral windows, and the frail and lofty gallery of trefoil arches which supports a heavy platform above its finer, slender columns. And lastly, the two black and massive towers with their slant penthouses, harmonious parts of a magnificent whole, superimposed in 5 gigantic stories, develop themselves before the eye in a mass and without confusion. With their innumerable details of statuary, carving, and sculpture joined powerfully to the tranquil grandeur of the whole, a vast symphony in stone, so to speak, the colossal work of one man and one people.
The facade of Notre Dame, as it still appears to us when we go piously to admire the grave and puissant cathedral, which inspires terror, so its chronicles assert.
3 important things are today lacking in that facade. In the first place, the staircase of 11 steps, which formerly raised it above the soil. Next, the lower series of statues, which occupied the niches of the 3 portals. And lastly, the upper series of 28 most ancient kings of France, which garnish the gallery of the first story, beginning with Childebert and ending with Philip Augustus, holding in his hand the imperial apple.
Time has bestowed upon the church perhaps more than it has taken away, for it is time which has spread over the facade that sombre hue of the centuries which makes the old age of monuments the period of their beauty. If we ascend the cathedral without mentioning 1,000 barbarisms of every sort, what has become of that charming little bell tower, which rested upon the point of intersection of the cross roofs, and which, no less frail and no less bold than its neighbor, also destroyed, the spire of Saint Chapelle, buried itself in the sky, farther forward than the towers, slender, pointed, sonorous, carved in open work. An architect of good taste amputated it, 1787, and considered it sufficient to mask the wound with that large leaden plaster which resembles a pot cover.
'Tis thus that the marvelous art of the Middle Ages has been treated in nearly every country. To sum up, 3 sorts of ravages today disfigure Gothic architecture.
Wrinkles and warts on the epidermis. This is the work of time.
Deeds of violence, brutalities, contusions, fractures. This is the work of the revolutions.
Mutilations, amputations, dislocation of the joints, restorations. This is the Greek, Roman, and barbarian work of professors according to Vitruvius and Mignol.
This magnificent art, produced by the Vandals, has been slain by the academies. The centuries, the revolutions, which at least devastate with impartiality and grandeur, have been joined by a cloud of school architects, licensed, sworn, and bound by oath, defacing with the discernment and choice of bad taste, substituting the chicories of Louis XV for the Gothic lace, for the greater glory of the Parthenon. It is the kick of the ass at the dying lion. It is the old oak crowning itself, and which, to heap the measure full, is stung, bitten, and gnawed by caterpillars.
Notre Dame is not, moreover, what can be called a complete, definite, classified monument.
It is an edifice of the transition period. The Saxon architect completed the erection of the first pillars of the nave. When the pointed arch, which dates from the Crusade, arrived and placed itself as a conqueror upon the large Romanesque capitals, which should support only round arches, the pointed arch, mistress since that time, constructed the rest of the church. Nevertheless, timid and inexperienced at the start, it sweeps out, grows larger, restrains itself, and dares no longer dart upward in spires and lancet windows, as it did later on in so many marvelous cathedrals. One would say that it were conscious of the vicinity of the heavy Romanesque pillars.
However, these edifices of the transition from the Romanesque to the Gothic are no less precious for study than the pure types. They express a shade of the art which would be lost without them. It is the graft of the pointed upon the round arch.
Notre Dame de Paris is, in particular, a curious specimen. Each face, each stone of the venerable monument is a page not only of the history of the country, but of the history of science and art as well.
The Roman abbey, the philosopher's church, the Gothic art, the Saxon art, the heavy round pillar, the hermetic symbolism with which Nicolas Flamel played the prelude to Luther, papal unity, schism, Saint-Germain-des-Prés, Saint-Jacques de la Boucherie, all are mingled, combined, amalgamated in Notre Dame.
This central mother church is among the ancient churches of Paris, a sort of chimera. It has the head of one, the limbs of another, the haunches of another, something of all. We repeat it. These hybrid constructions are not the least interesting for the artist, for the antiquarian, for the historian.
Each wave of time contributes its alluvium.
Each race deposits its layer on the monument.
Each individual brings his stone.
Thus do the beavers, thus do the bees, thus do men.
Now, please enjoy 3 more pieces with visual descriptions.
You're the flower of my heart, sweet and alive, sweet and alive. In the evening when I sit alone dreaming of days gone by, love to me so dear, so dear. There's a picture that in fancy oft appearing brings back the time, love, when you were near, when you were near. It is then I wonder where you are, my darling, and if your heart to me is still the same. For the sighing wind and nightingale a singing are bringing only your own sweet name, your own sweet name. Sweet Adeline, sweet Adeline, my Adeline, my Adeline. At night, dear heart, at night, dear heart, for you I pine. all my dreams. Your fair face beams, your fair face beams. You're the flower of my heart, sweet Adeline. I can see your smiling face as when we wandered down by the brook side, just you and I. And it seems so real at times, and I awaken to find all vanished, a dream gone by. If we meet sometime in after years, my darling, I trust that I will find your love still mine. Though my heart is sad and clouds above are hovering, the sun again above me for me would shine, for me would shine. Sweet Adeline, sweet Adeline, my Adeline. At night, dear heart, for you I pine. In all my dreams, in all my dreams, your fair face beams, your fair face beams. You're the flower of my heart, sweet Adeline. You're the flower of my heart, sweet Adeline. Sweet Adeline.
I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, forgone all custom of exercises, and indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame the earth seems to me a sterile promontory. This most excellent canopy the air. Look you, this o'erhanging firmament, this majestical roof fretted with golden fire. Why, it appears no other thing to me than a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. What a piece of work is man! How noble in reason! How infinite in faculties, in form and moving! How express and admirable in action! How like an angel in apprehension! How like a god! The beauty of the world, the paragon of animals. And yet to me, what is the quintessence of dust? Man delight not me, nor woman neither.
Positions never meant anything to me. Yeah, I'm not crazy. That's not true. I've got
For part 2 of our show, we now ponder the word figures through its meaning of using logic. To that end, the Amber Waves Radio Hour returns with a noir-style mystery. Let's see how the hero of the story uses their wits. Please enjoy The Ransom Game. This radio drama will be presented in 2 parts.
Greetings all, and welcome to another episode from the Amber Waves Radio Hour. Each week we delight in presenting our listeners with a new story. Tonight's tale is one of mystery, one set in a gritty reality of darkness, shadows, and crime. Tonight we follow a detective as they play The Ransom Game.
The city. It's cold and cruel. Darkness spreads in every direction. It's a tough life living in the gutter. It's even tougher trying to make it in this business as a woman. Nothing's easy around here save the whores that live on the corner. Every day you wake up praying it'll be your last day in this rat hole. But nobody escapes this place. The cold cuts into you like a knife, while life beats you back down into the muck. So, you do whatever you can to survive, and that means making a choice. And it ain't always the right one. Sometimes all you can choose is what makes this meaningless existence bearable. For me, that's taken whatever cases come my way to make ends meet. Oh. How rude of me. I haven't introduced myself yet. The name's Evelyn Blackthorne, P.I. 12 years ago, I was a young, bright-eyed cadet in the academy, full of vigor and hope, believing I could make a difference. Funny thing about hope, it doesn't take reality into account. They all scoffed at the idea a woman could be tough enough to handle what they threw at us. I took it all. The crude jokes, the insults, the lascivious glances. I pushed myself to ignore it and rise above it. In the end, none of it mattered. They were never gonna let me be a part of it from day one. So here I am, and doing what I can to clean up this city alone. The only friends I got are the bottles of booze on my desk. I had just poured myself a double bourbon when I heard a knock at the door. It never takes long. As soon as one case closes, another opens up.
Good evening, Miss Blackthorne.
In this part of town, there's rarely a good evening, Mr.
Wraith.
Mind if I smoke?
Go ahead.
Well, what can I do for you, Mr. Wraith?
It's my daughter, Jessica. She's gone missing.
So why come to me instead of the cops?
Well, I'm afraid this is a little more complicated than her just being missing. She was kidnapped and they said no cops.
I see. Is that the ransom note there?
Yes, it arrived in the mail 2 weeks ago, along with this photo.
May I see them?
Of course.
If you ever hope to see your daughter again, leave $100,000 at the disclosed location 1 week from today. No cops.
But I've already paid the ransom. I dropped it off at the location written, but my daughter was never returned. That was a week ago. I fear a terrible fate may have befallen her.
It's no easy task following a trail that's gone cold, and my services don't come cheap, Mr. Wraith. I'll need half up front.
I understand, Miss Blackthorne. I'll pay whatever I must. Just, please, find my daughter.
I'll do what I can. Now, what can you tell me about her habits? What about her last known whereabouts?
I'm afraid I've never been good about keeping up with her daily activities or her social life. However, she did have a job at the perfume counter at Miller's department store. Last time I spoke with her, she was about to leave for work. I'm sorry, I can't offer more than that.
I've worked with less. Can I keep these?
By all means, please, bring her back to me.
In this line of work, there's little time to dawdle. I poured myself another drink and started on the evidence provided by Mr. Wraith. The ransom note was nothing special. Letters clipped from various newspaper headings and glued to the page. The photo of a blonde bound to a chair and gagged. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but something about it seemed off. I wasn't going to get anywhere staring at a photo, so it was time to get out there. My first stop was to visit with my informant. Hey, Tony.
Eh? Oh, hey, Evie. Long time no see.
Let's keep the chit-chat to a minimum, all right?
Whatever you say, boss. You want a new case?
Another kidnapping. Do me a favor. Look into this address. A ransom was dropped off there a week ago, but the hostage was never released. See if any of your contacts may have noticed anything.
Sure, I can do that, but what's in it for me?
What do you want this time?
Glad you asked. With it getting a little colder out, I could sure use a new coat and maybe a bottle to help keep me warm. A few Jacksons ought to cover it.
A few? You're killing me here, Tony.
Look, if you don't want my help, by all means, go find someone else.
All right. Fine. Here.
Thanks, Evie. You're a pal.
Sure. I'll see you later, Tony. I gotta get to Miller's.
The department store? Oh, I see how it is. I do the dirty work while you go out shopping.
I ain't going there to shop. I'm following up on a lead.
Okay. I was only joking. See you later.
By the time I got to Miller's, it was bustling like some kind of convention. I pushed my way through the mass and sauntered up to the perfume counter.
Hi, welcome to Scented Goodness.
Hello.
Is there a scent you're looking for today?
Not really.
Personally, I recommend this
No,
one.
really.
I tried it once and it drove my
I'm
boyfriend
really
crazy.
not here for...
But based on your outfit, maybe you're looking for something a little less
Please,
exciting.
I'm not.
Hey, in that case, might I recommend this
If I
one?
could
It's very subtle.
Please stop! Look, I'm not here to buy anything, so can you just knock off the sales voice?
Fine. What do you want?
I'm looking for a blonde girl named Jessica. I was told she works here.
Works here? She was only here for a couple weeks. Never made any sales, and she was always running off with some guy mid-shift. To tell you the truth, I never liked her.
A
She
guy,
came off
huh?
like a real...
A guy? Could you describe him for me?
Sure. Well-tailored suit, slick black hair, green eyes, and a perfectly square jawline. Oh, and he wore a large ring with a badger insignia on his pinky finger. Kinda cute.
Any idea of his name or where I could find him?
I think his name is Johnny. I overheard him mention an apartment on 73rd Street.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
The trail was starting to warm up. 73rd Street was on the other side of the tracks, the nicer side of town. Even folks with a little money can afford to live there. Cookie-cutter houses, mom and pop shops, and a pleasant little park across from the newly built apartment complex, Urban Towers. A first name ain't much to go on, and I was getting a mite hungry, so a quick visit to the deli on the corner could serve multiple purposes. Excuse me, sir. What's good here?
Everything's good here. Personally, I like the liverwurst.
Yeah, I can tell.
Huh?
Oh, nothing. Nothing. Can I get a pastrami on rye and hold the mustard?
Sure thing, Toots.
Never call me that again.
Whatever you say, Toots. I mean, ma'am. Geez, sorry.
Never mind. While I'm here, do you know anybody around here by the name of Johnny?
Well, you have to be a bit more specific. A lot of folks come in and out of here every day.
This one might live nearby. Slick black hair, green eyes, and wears a large ring with a badger design on his pinky finger.
What was that last bit?
A large ring with a badger design on his pinky finger.
Are you a friend of his?
What happens if I say I am?
Uh,
Look, do you know him or not? I mean, I'm on a tight schedule here.
He's in the apartments across the street. Apartment 3B. Please don't tell him I told you. Here's your sandwich.
Thanks. How much do I owe you?
It's on the house.
Oh. Well, thanks. See you around. The deli clerk's reaction to the ring told me all I needed to know moving forward. I kept one eye open for trouble and the other watching the entrance of urban towers. For folks matching the description Tiffany gave me, and I was getting tired of waiting, so I ventured inside to check out apartment 3B. Unsure of what would happen next, I kept one hand on the gun in my bag and the other on the door as I knocked. Nothing. Maybe he wasn't home. Before I threw in the towel, I decided to knock once more. This time there was an answer.
Can I help you?
He fit the description Tiffany gave me, all right. A perfectly fitted suit accentuated all his assets. Long black hair, slicked back, a jawline so square it would put even the most competent woodworker to shame. His green eyes shimmered like the emeralds on his ring. This was him, all right. One glance told me all I needed to know. He was trouble. You, Johnny?
Who's asking?
Evelyn Blackthorne, P.I. I've been looking into the disappearance of Jessica Wraith.
Okay. What's that got to do with me?
I have it on good authority that you might know her.
Look, I don't know where you get your information from, lady, but
I can see that you're not going to make this easy. I'm guessing from the ring on your finger you're related to Don the Badger Riletti. Am I right? Well,
he's my father. You know him?
Well, by reputation only. Look, are you going to invite me in or what?
Jeez, I can tell you're the type that's not going to take no for an answer. Hey, come on in.
It's about damn time.
You, care for a drink?
I thought you'd never ask.
Oh, make yourself at home.
Thanks. So, are you going to be straight with me, or do I have to play hardball?
Okay, I'll bite. Here. Yeah, I knew Jessica. We grew up together. Her father used to work for my father.
Were you close?
Depends on what you mean by close. If you're asking if we were in a, romantic relationship, the answer is no. We were just friends.
Yeah, just friends, huh? From what I hear, you visited her quite frequently at work, and she left with you several times, presumably to come here?
Well, let me guess. You heard all this from Tiffany?
I'm not in the habit of giving away my sources, Mr. Riletti.
Please, call me Johnny.
All right. Johnny. What can you tell me about Jessica? How frequently did you visit her?
Once or twice a week, maybe. We reconnected at a mixer a few months ago and enjoyed each other's company. So we get together a couple times a week to grab a drink and chat. Is that so odd?
I suppose not. Were you aware that Jessica had gone missing? I mean, if you visited her that frequently, I'm surprised you hadn't heard sooner.
It's not uncommon for her to take off for a week or two without telling anyone. I assumed she was just on another trip.
I see. Any idea where she might have gone?
Can't help you there. She's always been a bit spontaneous. Sometimes she doesn't even bother to mention she's going.
Well, you've been a font of information. Thanks.
Can't tell you what I don't know. Sorry.
If you do think of anything, give me a call. Here's my card.
Will do. One for the road?
No thanks. I've still got work to do. Nice meeting ya, Johnny.
Likewise.
Seems like there could be something more there. He was hiding something. In the meantime, I decided to see if Tony had found anything. Did you find anything, Tony?
Sure did. A couple of folks saw a very nice car pull up and an old gentleman leave a briefcase and drive away.
We already knew that. Anything else?
I was getting there. A little later, they saw two figures show up, grab the briefcase, and run off. One of them dropped this.
A poker chip?
You ever see a gold poker chip before?
Can't say that I have, but this one looks like it's for the Starfall Casino.
There's a set of initials on the back.
Huh. J.R. This must belong to Johnny. Perhaps this is what he was hiding. Gambling has a way of reeling in anyone it gets its hooks into. Whatever the case, he must be involved. I need to pay him another visit. Good work, Tony.
Thanks. Evie, do you think I could keep the poker chip?
Hand it over.
Oh, come on, Evie, please. Let's go.
I don't have time for this, Tony. Now hand it over.
Fine. Damn it.
See you, Tony.
Yeah.
I spent the rest of the night searching for answers at the bottom of a bottle and finding none. I stared at the evidence and thought about my conversation with Johnny till I drifted off into the endless abyss of unconsciousness.
We'll be right back to our story in a moment. But first, a word from one of our sponsors.
It'll just be another 3 days, 8 hours, 22 minutes. Please stay on the line.
Ugh, this is so infuriating. I can't just keep waiting to get in touch with customer service. If only there was a service that I could use to deal with customer services.
There is. Hi, I'm Nancy from Customer Service Services, or CSS for short. At CSS, our employees sit and wait on customer service lines so you don't have to.
Wow, that's amazing. I bet you're pretty expensive, though.
Actually, all of our workers are so in debt to us that they basically work for free, so we can pass all the savings on to you.
Where do I sign?
Customer Service Services. We wait so you don't have to.
On a Sunday morn, sat a maid forlorn, with her sweetheart by her side. Through the window pane, she looked at the rain. We must stay home, so she cried. There's a picnic too at the Old Point View. It's a shame it rained today. Then the boy drew near, kissed away each tear, and she heard him softly say, "Wait till the sun shines belly, when the clouds go drifting by, we will be happy, Nelly, don't you cry. We'll go down Lover's Lane, we'll wander, sweethearts, you and I. Wait till the sun shines Nelly, by and by." By and by. Yes, by and by.
The emergence of scientific inquiry, like all human pursuits, is a process, and there have been numerous salient figures. We first hear from Ibn al-Haytham.
Early investigators diligently pursued the inquiry into the manner of visual sensation and applied their thoughts and effort to it, eventually reaching the limit to which their investigation had led, and gaining as much knowledge of this matter as their inquiry and the judgment had yielded. Nevertheless, their views on the nature of vision are divergent, and their doctrines regarding the manner of sensation not concordant. Thus, perplexity prevails, certainty is hard to come by, and there is no assurance of attaining the object of inquiry. How strong, in addition to all this, is the excuse for the truth to be confused, and how manifest is the proof that certainty is difficult to achieve. For the truths are obscure, the ends hidden, the doubts manifold, the minds turbid, the reasonings various, the premises are gleaned from the senses, and the senses, which are our tools, are not immune from error. The path of investigation is therefore obliterated, and the inquirer, however diligent, is not infallible. Consequently, when inquiry concerns subtle matters, perplexity grows, views diverge, opinions vary, conclusions differ, and certainty becomes difficult to obtain.
We see the roots of the scientific inquiry in Ibn al-Haytham's words. In one version of a salient episode of his life, we learn that al-Haytham was hired to regulate the Nile River. When he arrived, he found out that he could not do so. To save his life from the temper of the so-called Mad Caliph, despite al-Haytham having taken a job, al-Haytham feigned madness because he was afraid for his life. He was confined to his home for years. It appears that it was during this time that he conducted experiments, one of the most famous of which is a direct ancestor of the camera, a perfect image appearing on the back wall of a dark room, the light only having traveled through a tiny hole on the opposite wall. First, we will hear a seminal conclusion on the nature of the path of light.
If a survey is made of all visible objects at all times, and if they are experimentally and accurately examined, they will be found to be uniformly as we have described them, with no variation or change. This, therefore, proves that for every seen object that exists within the eye in the same atmosphere and is not perceived by reflection, there exists between each point on the seen surface of the object and a certain point or multiplicity of points on the surface of the eye, a straight line or lines which are not interrupted by any opaque body.
Now, Ibn al-Haytham shares his thoughts on beauty as it relates to visual perception.
Now, for the beauty that is perceptible to the sense of sight, sight perceives it by perceiving each one of the particular properties of which the manner of perception by sight has been shown. For each of these properties separately produces one of the kinds of beauty, and they produce other kinds of beauty in conjunction with one another. For sight perceives beauty only from the forms of visible objects which are perceptible to it, and these forms are composed of the particular properties that have been shown in detail, and sight perceives the forms from its perception of these properties, and therefore it perceives beauty from its perception of these properties. Now, the kinds of beauty that sight perceives from the forms of visible objects are many. Some have as cause one of the particular properties in the form. Others are caused by a number of the particular properties in the form. Others still are caused by a conjunction of the properties one with another, and not by the properties themselves. And the cause of others, again, is composed of the properties and their harmony. Sight perceives each one of the properties in each one of the forms singly, and it perceives them in composition, and perceives their conjunction and harmony. It therefore perceives beauty in various ways, all of which reduce to perception of the particular properties. That it is these particular properties that separately produce beauty, and by producing beauty, I mean that they produce in the soul an effect such that the form appears beautiful, will be evident from a brief consideration. For light produces beauty, and thus the sun, the moon, and the stars look beautiful, without there being in them a cause on account of which their form looks beautiful and appealing other than their radiant light. Therefore, light by itself produces beauty.
Now, as we know, for those of us lucky enough to be sighted, perception of visual beauty is typically a strong factor in the choice of a lifelong partner.
Saw her standing there, moonbeams in her hair, starlight in her eyes so fair, sweet radiance all around her. Never will I hold so deep within my soul the loving love she whispered low. That very night I found her. Never was a night so splendid, so right. that she would be, that she would be. She promised she would be my bride someday, some fine day. She promised she would be my bride someday, some fine day.
And now, the conclusion of the ransom game.
But first, another word from our sponsors.
I'd been looking for the strongest cup of coffee for 10 years now. I've been to hundreds of Java joints all over the country. Luke's, the Double R, Central Perk. I even went to some hole-in-the-wall joint called Starbucks. I had nearly given up hope until I ran into one of my old contacts.
Hey, I hear you've been poking around for the strongest cup of coffee.
That's right. What's it to you?
I might know a place. You ever hear of Ad Astra?
Say, ain't that the state motto of Kansas? What would a Kansan know about strong coffee?
They know more than you think, pal. You know how Midwesterners deal with the wildly changing weather all the time? It's the coffee. I'll see you around.
Ad Astra, huh? What could it mean? It took another 6 months, but I finally found it. Combination bookstore and coffee house, and brewing in a little pot out back, supposedly the strongest cup of coffee known to man. Cricket brand coffee. Over 300 milligrams of caffeine per cup. Guaranteed to wake you up before your first sip, or so they say. This was my chance. I took a sip. Out of all the Java joints in all the towns in all the world, this had to brew here. One sip was all it took. I knew I'd never drink another brand for the rest of my days. 1 bag of Cricket brand coffee, please.
Here you go.
With that mystery solved, it was time to move on to the next. Where do all the missing socks end up once I put them in the dryer?
And now, back to our story.
The next morning, I staggered out in search of more answers. When I got to Johnny's apartment, the door was cracked open. The force of a single knock was enough to push my way in. It was as barren as a church after Sunday. The only proof someone had been there was the wastebasket in the corner, and just like that, I felt like I was back at square one. Damn it. I was just about to leave when I noticed a small scrap of burnt paper near the edge of the wastebasket. All I could make out was a heart drawn in the corner. Was it from a former lover? Maybe to a current one? The only way to know was to find Johnny. I needed to find someone who knew where he might be. Someone close. The Badger. Unfortunately, he doesn't just talk to anyone, especially not folks in my line of work. I needed an in, and I had just the person in mind. I had to stop by my office to get Mr. Wraith's address. When I stepped inside, I was in for a shock. The whole office had been trashed, and pinned to the desk was a single note. Leave it alone. This was getting personal. It took a couple hours to find the address. I gave Tony a couple bucks to watch the place while I went to visit Mr. Wraith.
Ah, Miss Blackthorne. Have you found my daughter yet?
Not yet, but I am getting closer. I believe she's mixed up with someone from the Badgers organization. His son Johnny, in particular, has also disappeared on me. If I could meet with the Badger, I might be a step closer to finding her.
I see. But how do you intend to see him? From what I hear, his security is extremely tight. Nobody gets in to see him unless you're family or have a personal connection.
I heard the same. And that's why I'm here. I was hoping you could arrange a meeting for me.
Me? My dear Miss Blackthorne, what makes you think...
Cut the crap, Mr. Wraith. I know you used to work for him.
Found that out, did you? Well, I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. Very well, I can arrange for maybe 10 minutes. My chauffeur, Charles, will take you. Please, don't do anything stupid.
Oh, Girl Scouts honor. I swear I'll be on my best behavior. Thank you, Mr. Wraith. I was blindfolded and put into the back of a car. Upon arrival, I was promptly led inside and my blindfold removed. There he was, Don the Badger Rilletti, a large but fit, balding man, his eyes like deep pools of despair, his hands scarred, presumably by the last person to cross him, and a large ring adorned with the emblem of a badger set proudly on his pinky finger. He was one of the most powerful men in the city and the most brutal if tested.
Well, Miss Blackthorne, I hear you're looking for my son Johnny. Why?
I believe he's involved in the kidnapping of Mr. Wraith's daughter.
I heard she'd gone missing. Shame. But Johnny being involved. He doesn't have the stomach for it. Such a disappointment.
I'm sorry you feel that way. Regardless, I've got a job to do, and he's my only connection. I tried his apartment, but it has since been abandoned.
Yes, I know. If I taught him one thing, it's how to keep folks like you on their toes.
Do you have any idea where he might be?
Even if I did know, what makes you think I'd tell someone like you? He may be a disappointment, but he is still family. I don't give out secrets to nobodies like you unless I get something in return. I'm sure you already know this, Miss Blackthorne, but I have quite a number of powerful allies in this city. Allies that could give you what you want.
And what is that?
A job in which you'd actually be serving justice. You see, I had one of my men do a quick look into you when Mr. Wraith called. I heard you were quite the cadet. Top marks in your field, only to be strung along with no hope of ever actually being brought on. Shame, really. You're quite the brilliant detective. Your recovery of the Ivory Hawk was quite impressive.
Do you have a point?
My point, Miss Blackthorne, is that we could be a help to one another in the future. You give up your pursuit of Johnny, and I'm sure we can come to an arrangement, one in which your miserable little life could have some meaning, or at the very least, have some comfort.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't interested. Comfort goes a long way in this cruel life. So does being a part of something bigger than myself. But on the other hand, I'd be giving up my freedom of choice and bound to a monster. I'm not sure I could stomach that.
Well, Miss Blackthorn, what'll it be?
Thanks. But no thanks, Mr. Rilletti. I'd rather keep my miserable little life with my integrity intact.
Very well, Miss Blackthorn. My associate will show you out.
Thanks for wasting my time.
Oh, you're welcome. Do come back any time. Watch where you're going.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I tripped. Like a rat in a maze, I had hit a dead end. The only thing I had to go on was a matchbook I managed to swipe from the Badger's office as I was let out. Printed on the front was the name of the sleaziest nightclub in town, the Velvet Mirage. I'd heard horror stories about that place. Crooked cops, junkies, whores, and conmen all mixed together in a sinister slurry in places like that. It made my skin crawl just thinking about it. I kept my eyes peeled as I went inside. Might as well grab a drink while I'm here.
What'll it be, lady?
Bourbon on the rocks, please. I sat at the bar for a couple hours hoping to see Johnny, and nothing. What was I thinking? A matchbook for a sleazy nightclub as a clue? Such a desperate move. Come on, Evie, you're better than that. Maybe they were right for booting you out of the academy.
Scotch. Neat. Thanks, Mike.
Sure thing. Another for you, miss?
Another bourbon. And make it a double this time.
Miss Blackthorn, is that you? What's a nice girl like you doing in a place like this?
Such a tired line. Beat it, mister. I'm looking for a guy, and you ain't him. Johnny?
That's me.
No, it can't be. You're not really here, are you? You're just an alcoholic-induced hallucination born out of my mind's pathetic attempt to make me feel better. Well, I'm not buying it.
No, I'm pretty real. See?
Ow! God! What did you pinch me for?
I told you I was real. You, been here a while, haven't you?
Who's asking?
Oh, was that supposed to be me?
Well, yeah, brilliant observation. I mean, maybe you should be the detective.
Oh, is that what I sound like? Oh, that hurts.
Good.
I hope this isn't too forward, but would you join me in my private booth?
Lead the way.
You didn't answer my question, Miss Blackthorn.
Oh, call me Evie. And when the job calls for it, I go where I have to. I tried visiting you earlier today, but nobody was home. In fact, nothing was home.
Yeah, sorry about that. My father doesn't like me staying in one place for too long, unless it's with him, of course. So, I move occasionally. Keeps things fresh and exciting.
I'm sure it does. Staying in the same place can get awfully boring, especially if there's no one to share it with.
I don't follow you.
Oh, come on. A handsome guy like you? I'm surprised you don't have girls throwing themselves at your feet.
What makes you think that?
Well, I found this scrap of paper in your apartment. I mean, you see the little heart on the corner? That says it all.
That? Ah, that's just from a former lover trying to weasel her way into the family for money. Seemed sweet when I first met her, but I broke it off as soon as I caught on. Besides, I'm waiting for the right one to come along.
The right one? Oh, that's terribly cliche, but kind of sweet.
What can I say? I'm a hopeless romantic.
Oh. I don't suppose you have heard anything about Jessica, have you?
Not even a peep. Sorry.
Well, I guess that's it.
What's it? Your investigation?
Yep, I should just pack up shop now.
Ah, come on. I'm sure you're a great detective. Everyone goes through a rough patch. Hey, I'll tell you what. Let's finish these drinks and you can sleep it off at my new place. On the way, I'll tell you everything I know again, and maybe we can find the solution together. What do you say?
All right. Lead on, Macduff.
It won't take long to get there. It's faster if we cut through the alley here. Shoot.
What?
I left my wallet inside. I'll just be a second. Wait right here.
Johnny? Oh, good, you're back. I was starting to think that you'd... Ugh. When I came to, it was dark outside. My head pounded like a bass drum. Like a bass drum in a marching band, and a gun was aimed at my head.
Well, look who's finally awake.
Jessica Wraith. The missing girl, I presume.
Ding, ding, ding! Oh, she catches on quick. I knew you'd come looking for Johnny again, so I had him lure you out.
Sorry, Miss Blackthorn.
Don't apologize. So, Miss Blackthorn, let me guess, my father sent you, didn't he? Oh, he just doesn't give up.
Yes, he's worried about you.
Oh, he said the same thing when he found out about my gambling addiction.
Gambling? Oh, I am such an idiot. Jessica Wraith. That chip belonged to you.
Oh, brilliant deduction, but a bit late. My father said I should get some help or a job, otherwise he was going to cut me off, and naturally I couldn't let that happen. I mean, oh sure, I tried the job thing, but it just really wasn't my style, and I needed more money, and I knew I could count on Johnny to help me because he's such a good friend, and he unwittingly gave me this idea. We staged the photo and sent it to my father, and it was all working out beautifully. Until you came into the picture.
I knew something about that picture felt off.
Wow! Another clever deduction! God, it's a wonder anyone hires you. So sorry, Miss Blackthorn, but I'm afraid your time has come.
Jess, is that really necessary? Maybe we could just pay her off.
I'm not giving her 1 cent.
Come on, Jess, be reasonable. We don't have to give her much. I'm sure we could work something out.
I told you, I'm not parting with any money. I don't have to. Now take care of her.
You mean kill her?
Obviously. I can't have her going back to my father and spoiling everything.
I understand that, but murder? Really? Jess, that's not you.
Look, you got a better idea? And I swear to God, if you say pay her off again, you're going the same place she is.
Look, I was willing to help you with this because I care about you, but this is too much. Is money all you really care about anymore, Jess? We're friends, aren't we?
You are so useless.
Jess, please, think about this. Scamming your father for money is one thing, but murder? I couldn't do it for my father. What makes you think I could do it for you?
Oh my God, you are so pathetic. Look, you make me sick, and I'm just gonna do it myself.
Jess, please, don't do this.
Shut up. If you're not gonna help, go stand in the corner. I'll deal with you later.
Looks like now's my chance. Let go, Jessica. It's over.
No, it isn't. Once I'm done with you, I'll deal with Johnny, and...
Oh my God, it hurts. Oh.
Johnny, are you okay? It looks like it just grazed your leg.
I'm so sorry, Johnny, but this is the end for both of you.
Charles, bust open that door! Jessica?
Daddy? Oh, thank God you're here! I was just trying to escape when Johnny and this horrible woman tried to shoot me!
Oh, save it, Jessica. I've heard everything. It's over. You're coming home and then we're getting you some help.
I don't want your help.
Charles, please escort my daughter to the car and make sure that she stays there.
Oh, I don't need help. Let go of me, you big ape. I'm not going. Let me go.
You okay, son?
Yes, sir. My leg hurts like hell, though.
Come on, let's get you to the dock.
How'd you find us?
After our little meeting, I had one of my men follow you.
It looks like we got here just in time, too. Thank you, Miss Blackthorne. You did a marvelous job. Here's the rest of what I owe you for your services.
Thanks. And if you ever need me again, you know where to find me. The next few days were quiet, restful, and boring. My only visitor was Tony, and he's not the best of company. Though he did bring in a gift that was left at the front door. A bottle of bourbon with a note attached.
Sorry for trashing your office and for misleading you. Please, enjoy this bottle with my compliments. Johnny.
Johnny seems to be doing fine. As for me, I couldn't help but think about the badge's offer. Sure, I managed to close another case, but it's getting harder. The more people I help, the more enemies I seem to make. I want to help people, to serve justice. But I'm stuck here. Every day, more people need help. And I'm just one woman.
Excuse me, Miss Blackthorne? I need your help.
One dedicated woman who's damn good at her job. The city's got more dark secrets, and as long as I'm around, I'll be there to shine a light on them.
That concludes this week's episode from the Amber Waves Radio Hour. Tonight's episode was written by Timothy William Burns. Thanks again to our sponsors, Customer Service Services and Cricket Brand Coffee. Tune in next week for a new story.
Hey, Michael.
Yep.
Before we get into our next act, our corporate overlords at Cricket Brand Coffee
Corporate overlords.
called during the break just now, and they
Yeah.
said that we got to try and sell more coffee by the end of the show, or they may try and pull their sponsorship.
Oh. Okay. Well, how many do we need to sell?
28 bags.
28 bags? That's kind of a lot for the amount of time we have left, Tim.
But I know, but I mean, there are at least still 7 people here listening to the show. I mean, if we could get each of them to buy 13 bags apiece, that should take care of it.
Okay, all right. Well, I guess we can just try and sell and wait a minute.
What?
How many did you say?
13.
13?
Yeah, 13 bags apiece.
For 7 people.
Yeah.
And you said we need to sell how many?
28.
You think that 7 people buying 13 bags of coffee is 28 bags? 13 times 7 is 28. That's what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dear. Tim?
Yeah.
What's the matter with you?
Listen, my education is what it is.
Okay, so here we go. So you're saying 13 people, 7 people, 13 bags of coffee.
Look, it's fine. Come here. Give us a second, folks.
What are you doing?
Look, I got this all figured out. No kidding.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Figured this all out all by myself.
Dean, set these microphones up. What are you doing?
Look. Oh, they're fine. See, look. Paul's here to save the day.
Okay.
And he is not single, so.
It's a good thing people know where they are now.
Well, yeah, I mean, imagine so. Okay, so. I'm going to prove to you that 7 times 13 is 28, okay?
Okay.
All right. Now, you're in agreement that there are at least 7 people here for the show?
Yep.
Okay. Use the right end of the marker. All right, that's a 7.
Yep.
Now, I'm actually going to divide and prove it to you.
Oh, dear.
Okay, now, there are 28 bags. That's correct, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now, 7 into 2.
What do you mean 7 into 2?
7 will not go into 2, no matter how much you try.
Duh.
I mean, you couldn't even push that big 7 into that little bitty 2.
Certainly not.
I mean, let's be honest, that's kind of a cute little 2. I mean, you don't want to hurt that cute little 2 with that big old 7.
You're right, we don't.
Therefore, we cannot use the 2.
Okay, so what are you going to do with it?
I'm going to give it to that member of the audience right there.
Oh, dear. Okay.
You do me a favor and hold on to that cute little 2 for a little bit. Thank you.
What is this all about?
Don't worry about it. Okay. I'm going to use it later.
Okay.
Now, 7 into 8.
1.
Okay. Yep. 1. Now, let's see. Now we're going to carry the 7.
Carry the 7.
And it's getting a little heavy on my shoulders. So I'm going to put it right down here.
Oh, carry, because it's heavy. I get it.
Yeah. See, that's a joke, Michael.
Uh-huh.
Now, 7 from 8.
1.
1. Now, ignore how crudely that's strong.
Okay.
Now, a moment ago, we didn't use this 2.
What are you talking about?
I'm going to use it now. Can I have that cute little 2 back? Oh, thank you very much. All right, I'm going to put it down here.
Okay.
You see?
Yes.
7 into 21.
3.
3 times. 7, 28, 13.
Oh, no. Tim, come here. Come here. Step away from the board. Step away from the board.
Did you ever go to school, stupid? Yeah, and I come out the same way.
Never mind that. Never mind that. You know what? There are more operations. Tell you what, multiply it.
Multiply it?
Yeah, erase all that and multiply it.
Okay. Okay, there's a 13.
Yup. Okay, now put a 7 there.
Okay.
Draw a line.
Sure.
Okay, now multiply.
Okay. 7 times 3.
21.
21. 7 times 1.
7.
And you're the teacher here. 7 times 1. Now, 7 and 1. 8. And a 2. There we go. Now it looks like a 2. See? 28. It comes out right all the time.
No, that's... No.
Look, it comes out right all the time. I'm right.
But it shouldn't come out right.
Look, it's got to come out right or we lose our sponsorship. That I know for a fact.
Oh, dear. Okay. GED, teacher brain, GED. More operations. I know what we're going to do. I'll prove it to you. We're going to add it.
Okay.
Here we go. Get rid of all that. Whatever that is.
It's called math, Michael.
Okay. Now, put down 13.
Okay.
You're going to
1.
You're going to do 7 of them, right?
I will do 7.
Okay, 7 13s. Here we go.
There's 1.
Yes, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. Give me the marker.
No, if you take it, it's not going to come out right.
Just give it here.
Okay.
All right. There's something wrong with what you're doing. I can fix it. Yes. Here we go. Ready? Are you watching? Here we go. You watching? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21,
22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28.
No! We are so screwed. You know what? Never mind. Let's just get on with the show.
Don't worry, folks. Tim and Michael are still friends. I think. Anyway, the chorus will now break down for you the 4 different parts in barbershop harmony. Let's sing the song, let's sing the song, let harmony be true. Come join the crowd, sing long and loud like good chord busters do. Bust a chord, a good old major chord with some ringing harmony. Harmony, come on and join the fun and bust a minor one as we warble merrily. Let's sing it through again and then we'll all chime in. It will make your heart feel light. You'll be hoarse tomorrow, but forget your sorrow while we bust a chord tonight. If you're a baritone, no need to sit around alone. And please let me right over here. Over here, let's bust a chord or two, and then we'll know it's true that the song makes everything is gonna go right. Put away your troubles, let your joy be double while we bust a chord tonight. While we bust a chord tonight. We now present the words of 2 people from the mountain of mathematicians, the man who married geometry and algebra, and the man who brought us algebra in the first place, René Descartes and Al-Khwarizmi. Khwarizmi. Get that wrong all the time.
I hope that hereafter, those who are clever enough to make use of the geometric methods herein suggested will find no great difficulty in applying them to plane or solid problems.
In what is called analytic geometry, René Descartes changed forever the way we see algebra and geometry. That is, we now see them together. As with any development in a field of study or inquiry, Descartes is not only a giant figure, and he did not come up with analytic geometry completely out of thin air. That is, others were before him part of the process. But he did solidify the connection between the 2 branches of math, and we still celebrate his contribution in the name of the XY grid, the Cartesian coordinates. Pierre de Fermat is often considered a pioneer in this discussion.
Any problem in geometry can easily be reduced to such terms that a knowledge of the lengths of certain straight lines is sufficient for its construction. Just as arithmetic consists of only 4 or 5 operations, namely addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and the extraction of roots, which may be considered a kind of division, so in geometry, to find required lines, it is merely necessary to add or subtract other lines, or else, taking one line, which I shall call unity, in order to relate it as closely as possible to numbers, and which can in general be chosen arbitrarily, and having given 2 other lines, to find a fourth line, which shall be to one of the given lines as the other is to unity, which is the same as multiplication. Or again, to find a fourth line, which is to one of the given lines as unity is to the other, which is equivalent to division. Or, finally, to find 1, 2, or several mean proportionals between unity and some other line, which is the same as extracting the square root, cube root, etc. of the given line. And I shall not hesitate to introduce these arithmetical terms into geometry for the sake of greater clearness. While reducing to a single construction all the problems of one class, I have at the same time given a method of transforming them into an infinity of others, and thus of solving each in an infinite number of ways. That, furthermore, having constructed all plane problems by the cutting of a circle by a straight line, and all solid problems by the cutting of a circle by a parabola, and, finally, all that are but 1 degree more complex by cutting a circle by a curve, but 1 degree higher than the parabola, it is only necessary to follow the same general method to construct all problems, more and more complex ad infinitum. For in the case of a mathematical progression, whenever the first 2 or 3 terms are given, it's easy to find the rest. I hope that posterity will judge me kindly, not only as to the things which I have explained, but also as to those which I have intentionally omitted, so as to leave others the pleasure of discovery.
One of the most important books in scholarship of all time, Al-Khwarizmi's, the compendious book on calculation by completion and balancing on multiplication, compiled between the years 813 and 833, was studied throughout the Renaissance. Al-Khwarizmi's name is the source of the word algorithm, so important in today's world. Our word algebra comes from his coined term, algebra. Let's hear Al-Khwarizmi instruct us on how to solve for unknown numbers.
That fondness for science by which God has distinguished the Imam al-Manun, the commander of the faithful, besides the caliphate which he has vouchsafed unto him by lawful succession, in the robe of which he has invested him, and with the honors of which he has adorned him. That affability and condescension which he shows to the learned, that promptitude which he protects and supports them in the elucidation of obscurities and in the removal of difficulties, has encouraged me to compose a short work on calculating by the rules of completion and reduction. I shall now teach you how to multiply the unknown numbers, that is to say, the roots, one by the other, if they stand alone, or if numbers are added to them, or if numbers are subtracted from them, or if they are subtracted from numbers, also how to add them one to the other, or how to subtract one from the other. Whenever one number is to be multiplied by the other, one must be repeated as many times as the other contains units. If there are greater numbers combined with units to be added to or subtracted from them, then 4 multiplications are necessary, namely, the greater numbers by the greater numbers, and the greater numbers by the units by the greater numbers, and the units by the units. If the units combined with the greater numbers are positive, then the last multiplication is positive. If they are both negative, then the 4th multiplication is likewise positive. But if one of them is positive and one negative, then the 4th multiplication is negative. For instance, 10 and 1 to be multiplied by 10 and 2. 10 times 10 is 100. Once 10 is 10 positive. Twice 10 is 20 positive. And once 2 is 2 positive. This altogether makes 132. But if the instance is 10 less 1 to be multiplied by 10 less 1, then 10 times 10 is 100. The negative 1 by 10 is 10 negative. The other negative 1 by 10 is likewise 10 negative, so that it becomes 80. But the negative 1 by the negative 1 is 1 positive. This makes the result 81. Or if the instance be 10 and 2 to be multiplied by 10 less 1, then 10 times 10 is 100, and the 10 negative 1 by 10 is 10 negative. The positive 2 by 10 is 20 positive. This altogether is 110. The positive 2 by the negative 1 gives 2 negative. This makes the product 108. I have explained this, that it might serve as an introduction to the multiplication of unknown sums, when the numbers are added to them, or when the numbers are subtracted from them, or when they are subtracted from numbers.
Our song was a song of tomorrow. Our hearts were as high as the sky. But songs are forgotten and skies often gray. Nevertheless, there is this I can say. From the first hello to the last goodbye, it's been awfully nice to know you. So excuse the party song. And I'll watch you go with my head held high. You've been dear and sweet, a pleasure to meet, a special treat, say I. From the first hello to the last
So that's it for the show. Tim and I just wanted to take a second to thank everybody. Thanks for coming, and thank you to everybody in the chorus, all the people wearing black over there, all the voice actors. Thank you so much. DJ Mean Dean over here, longtime friend of mine, for running sound for us, stepping up and making this happen for us. Thank you, Dean. If you've got a wedding or something and you need some sound, Dean's got you. His number's in the program. So
that's Mean Dean Productions.
Mean Dean Productions is who. So and I did want to say, if you feel so inclined, sometimes people do. If you want to make a donation to the chorus, we have. We pay for our rehearsal space and to buy new songs and education for the group and that sort of thing. If you feel moved to donate to the chorus, there's a email address that you could send PayPal donation to us that we would appreciate. But this has been episode 3. Tim, what you got for the folks?
Thank you again to Tammy Jo Jarvis and Ad Astra for letting us be here and do this, and also an extra special thank for Tammy for being in the show, even though she didn't know she was going to be. Also, thanks to our unofficially official sponsor, Cricket Brand Coffee.
All right.
I believe that's it. Thank you to all the performers. You guys are amazing, and you made this work really well. Thank you to Paul for also running my sound during the radio drama. That was extremely helpful. Woo, Paul! I love that guy. I think that's it.
Yeah.
So.
And in the next time you can see some of our people, we'll probably hopefully have a few folks in June 21st. We're bringing a big barbershop event called a Harmony Brigade to Salina. There's only 14 of these events in the whole world, and we're bringing that event to Salina. And we're doing something different with our concert in the afternoon on June 21st. We're gonna have Tim is gonna write some of his lovely commercials or a sketch between some of our songs. So we're gonna call it Salad Expo Light plus Harmony Brigade. So I would love to see you then. It's the weekend after River Festival. So
and that will be at the temple.
At the Masonic Temple in the 3rd floor auditorium. There is an elevator. So all right. Well, thank you everybody, and that's it.